annual Hopkins Raspberry Festival Senior Coronation. Tonight's event is Razzmatazz. My name is Regina Aiken and I'm one of the coordinators of this event. I want to thank our generous sponsors tonight, the Hopkins Activity Center, Susan Newville, Deb Vold, Sarah Nelson, the Hopkins JCs. We also want to thank our Hopkins businesses and especially Heartstrings Bridal. Those people are located just a few blocks down the street, and they donated our chair covers. They have donated those in the past many years, few years they have. And we also want to thank Evergreen Jewelers for the crowns tonight. A little bit about our sponsors. We all know the great job that the Activity Center does with Susan, Deb, and Sharon for the community and the Activity Center. Also the sponsors of the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Day the game day rather, held this past Sunday. They organized a great cruise on Lake Minnetonka, and as usual, they have changed this room into a grand ballroom with decorative lighting, special touches of our table decorations, and of course, the chair covers all add to the beauty of this room. Speaking of the table decorations, each year, Linda Lee and myself try to come up with a theme for this event. We try to use those decorations to enhance that theme. This year, we were able to solicit the help of the Hopkins Elks member, Candace Ferrantino. Candace quickly came to help us with some great ideas, and the final results are shown here in our theme centerpieces. And we want to thank Candace for all her help, especially today in helping getting this set up. And all of this helps to make the room look fabulous. Think about booking your next grand event here. I think I heard that there was a wedding going to be here this weekend. So, next weekend. Okay, so pretty cool. Tonight's dinner was served once again by the Hopkins JCs. Their names are Amanda Nato, Kim Rausch, Vasha Elmore, Pete Coleridge, Aaron Bryan, Sarah Voigt, and Joel Blum. Each year they put on their aprons, keep our food hot, and the kitchen clean, allowing us to mingle with our guests. So we want to thank them so much for all their hard work and their continued support of this event. Let's give them a round of applause. The Hopkins Raspberry Festival organization is a completely volunteer-based, and countless hours are spent they're spent year-round to bring us these events. We would like to recognize some of the volunteers within this great organization. The Hopkins Raspberry Festival Executive Directors, Jeff Dulac and Eugene Gleason. President Charlie Yunker, good, you can clap. Lauren Paulson, Sue Normandin, Aubrey Yunker, and Scott Kirsten are here too, I believe. Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Who else did I miss? Are we okay? I also want to thank Sarah Malloy and Paige Bolger. This mother-daughter team are our young lady candidate coordinators. And they too did a great job, not only recruiting candidates, but letting them help us with tonight's evening. Please stand up and be recognized. Candidates, stand up too. Sarah's going to be here in a little while. We know that you're anxious to get your feet moving, so let us begin the evening. Please stand. Are you finished dinner? Or anxious to dance? Please stand, and we're going to give a welcome to our current senior king and queen, the 2011-2012 Senior King and Senior King Jim and Senior Queen Judy, as they lead us in our first dance of the evening. Come on out. Enjoy the evening.
separate. Red roses too. I was so for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, and dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. When the colors of the rainbow so pretty in the sky cross on the faces of people coming by, I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? I feel the same that I love you. I watch them grow. They look much more than we ever knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, wonderful. Well, we didn't get everybody to get out. Everybody's still finishing reading, but we'll get everybody out in just a few minutes. But our king and queen will give them a big hand.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Senior King Jim Gall.
Thank you. This has been such a wonderful year. At this phase of my life, I never imagined that such marvelous things could take place. So many great towns and enthusiastic people. So many great team members and their parents. And so many associates and mentors to guide us. It has been an honor and a privilege to represent Hopkins as Senior Raspberry King. Thanks to everyone for their support and help. I'll miss you all, but never will forget the great memories. To our new Raspberry members, have a great year, enjoy every minute, and most of all, have fun. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce Senior Queen Trudy Reinitz.
Good evening, and thank you for coming and sharing this time with Jim and I. I'm Trudy, the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Senior Queen. This has been a wonderful and exciting year for me. There's so many things, I can't mention them all, but one thing, as we were driving down to Northfield, all the red and white streamers were coming off the float. And I wondered when we got to the Jesse James Day parade that if there would be any left. After that, the float had a few issues. The tarp tore, but between the board members and drivers and Aubrey and the royal family, we all got it put together. It was a great float. We would drive down the streets and everyone would say that our float was the best, and they would give us a thumbs up. In Anoka, I was walking down the field. It was the Anoka Halloween parade, and a young lady dressed as Cinderella came running across the field, and she said, "I just knew you would be here." And I was dressed as the fairy godmother with the blue cape, the big bow. And those are some of my best memories. And I've been just so impressed with our three young ladies, Krista, Taylor, and Liz. They've done so much. They have taken the junior royalty and have just taken them under their wings, straightening a tie, saying a kind word, giving them hugs, showing them dance steps, and they also kept Jim and I together like one big happy family. Those three are really, truly great representatives for the Hopkins City. On the weeks that an event would take place, Aubrey would always send out an email telling us what to wear, where to go, who was doing this, who was bringing the float. And I know that if we didn't have a great gal like her, we wouldn't be as organized as we were. I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to represent Hopkins, and it's been truly a gift. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice round of applause for Senior King Jim Gall and Senior Queen Trudy Reinitz. It's July, and the raspberries are ripe, and it's a time of year to celebrate the City of Hopkins and the 78th Hopkins Raspberry Festival. We have such a great legacy here in Hopkins, with the longest continuous running festival in Minnesota. You'll notice on your raspberry button the words, "A Tradition Preserved." The festival has adopted this as a permanent theme for the Hopkins Raspberry Festival. We want to reflect the importance that the community of Hopkins places on maintaining a small-town feel as the city continues to grow and change. It also serves as a guide for the festival itself to balance our own time-honored traditions built over the past 78 years with the need to progress, stay relevant, and ensure that there are 78 years of tradition to come. Now I would like to introduce some very important people. We have guests from St. Louis Park Royalty, Marjorie Duville and Gary Fink, the Senior King and Queen from St. Louis Park Ambassadors. Thanks for joining us tonight. We also have our royal family here, the juniors and young ladies. Would you stand and wave? You've done a great job representing Hopkins this past year, and we thank you. The junior coronation will be tomorrow night at Eisenhower Community Center starting at 7 o'clock with a reception and a dance. The young lady candidates here tonight, if you all want to stand and wave. We wish them all the best as they prepare for their coronation on Thursday night, July 12th, starting at 7 o'clock at the Hopkins Center for the Arts, Stages Theater. The Royal Ball will be held immediately following the Grand March, and it's an annual favorite for the visiting royalty. And young ladies, thank you for your help tonight. We would also like to acknowledge all the former Raspberry Festival senior royalty, and if you're able to stand, I'll call your name. Alan and Judy Johnson, 2010-11. John and Joan Markham, 2009-10. Dodie Mord and Joseph Obermeyer, 2008-2009. Marilyn Johnson, 2006-2007. Joan DeCoste, 2005-2006. Carol Ann Carlson, 2004-2005. Annette Marie Paschel, 2003-2004. Lorraine Beversdorf, 2001-2002. Joy Brinroll, 1995-96. And Dorothy Pavelka, 1993-94. Thank you all for your involvement with the Raspberry Festival. Our junior royalty has some final words to say to Senior King Jim and to Senior Queen Trudy. So if you'd all like to come forward. We'll start with Junior Prince DeMonte Williams.
I am the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Junior Prince DeMonte Williams. Senior King Jim and Senior Queen Trudy are always helpful without a doubt. They stuck it out as we passed hot chocolate and cider out on the coldest day of the year. Prime examples of Hopkins, I'd say. I'm your 2011-2012 Hopkins Raspberry Festival Junior Prince DeMonte Williams. Thank you for supporting the Hopkins Raspberry Festival.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Junior Princess Taylor Myers. We have learned many things this year and had been fortunate enough to be able to share our adventures and our journeys with a great group of seniors. One of my favorite memories was of the Giving Parade in Cambridge. It was a very snowy, wet day, and everyone was freezing. The potato float was in the ditch, and we had to slug through a bunch of slush while waiting to board the float. Even Jim, stoic as he is, was looking ready to pack it in, when out of nowhere, like an angel, Trudy handed me what was to be a saving grace that night, hot pads, for my shoes and my hands. Wow, did that feel great. At every event, freezing or burning hot, Trudy and Jim had wonderful words of encouragement and smiles for us all. Thank you, Trudy and Jim, for a wonderful year. Let's give Trudy and Jim a round of applause.
Hello, I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Junior King Adam Rothman. We had a lot of fun this year as a royal family, and Trudy and Jim helped make it very special. Trudy, I will always remember when you were dressed up as the fairy godmother at the Anoka Halloween parade, waving your wand around. You were lifting my spirits. You were always lifting my spirits and putting me in a good mood. Jim, you were there for everything. I could always count on you. You made a great senior king. It was fun being in the royal family with you both. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicolette Stabno. I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival 2011-2012 Junior Queen. This past year has been very fun-filled. One special memory I have with the seniors is the day we carpooled together to the St. Paul Winter Carnival. The driver of the float which we were following was lost. We drove around in a big circle in downtown St. Paul for a long time. We actually started counting the number of times we passed certain St. Paul landmarks and how long it took. We sat at a stoplight waiting to turn. It took 38 minutes before we were able to turn onto the road for the parade lineup. It was actually a fun time. Thank you, Trudy and Jim, for being such a great senior royalty.
Thank you to our junior royalty, DeMonte Williams, junior princess Taylor Myers, junior king Adam Rothman, and junior queen Nicolette Stabno. And now some final thoughts from young ladies.
All right, good evening, everyone. I am the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Princess Lizzie Wallner, and as a candidate, I was sponsored by Gina Maria's Pizza. Jim and Trudy, I could not have asked for a better king and queen this last year. There are so many fun memories with the both of you, and I was hard-pressed to mention just one this evening. Jim, it was always fun to have you at the parades and hear about what you were up to outside of the Raspberry Festival. You're the sweetest man I could have asked for in a king, and next year's king should definitely take a lesson from you. You always made me laugh when we were waiting in the lineup for parades to start with your banner. It would always find its way out of place, and your name tag would somehow end up on the bottom of your shirt. We were always there to help you out and fix it. How will you ever survive without us? I hope that you continue to volunteer with Hopkins and that you enjoy your job at Home Depot. And Trudy, you certainly don't need a crown to sparkle. You are the most kind and generous woman I have met. And I love how much time I've got to spend with you at each parade and Hopkins event. I had a ton of fun hearing about all of your craft ideas and seeing all the different sparkly things you wore to each parade. You show off your raspberry glitz and glam very well. Last year, when I was crowned, I knew that I would be gaining 2 sisters through the other young ladies with me here tonight. But I had no idea that I would be adding another set of grandparents. Thanks.
Hello, I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Princess Taylor Jensen, and as a candidate, I was sponsored by Max Liquor. Jim and Trudy, you were the first in our family to get crowned last year, and I remember being so happy for you that day. I was excited to meet you, and I hoped that I would get to be a part of your family too. We've had such a great year together. Through all the parades and events, we became so close, and now we really are a family. Jim, I remember the day you told us you got your new job, and you were so proud. And I was proud of you too, because I could see how happy it made you. And Trudy, you really are the sweetest person. You have such a big heart, and it was clear to see how much you loved our royal family. And we love you too. We love you both very, very much. Thank you for all you do in this community and for being the best senior king and queen that this family could have asked for.
Good evening. I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Queen, Carissa Mathiasen, and as a candidate, I was sponsored by the Hopkins Elks. Jim, first of all, the Elks are awesome, so as soon as they mentioned you were involved with them, I knew you were going to be pretty cool. You're a relaxed and laid-back kind of guy, but one time our royal family did Zumba in the park together, and you were dancing away, shaking your hips and waving your arms. We have a picture of you smiling so big, your pearly whites cover half your face because you were having so much fun. If you ever take a Zumba class, call me. Trudy, you are one of the most kind-hearted, joyful, smiley people I've ever met. You must have ate a lot of sweethearts as a child because everything that comes out of your mouth is super cute. My favorite memory of you is the Anoka Night Parade, because I know your granddaughter means the world to you, and she was able to come hang out at the parade lineup and watch the parade that day. You were so happy to have her around that I don't think you stopped smiling that entire night. I'm going to miss you guys. You have a special place in my heart, and we're part of some of the best memories of my life. I love you, and thank you so much for being a part of my year.
I don't think unless you're part of a royal family you can know how close these people actually really do become. I have a daughter that was the Raspberry Queen, and I know from our family we did become very, very close. So when they say that, they really are, it is the truth. But now is the time to introduce our new Hopkins Raspberry Festival seniors for the upcoming year. Our candidates were nominated by the Hopkins Activity Center, which means if you come here, they're watching you because you're a great group of people. Our new senior king was born and raised in the heart of Hopkins. This gentleman has a love of antiques and history, and he attended the old South High Junior High. I did say that he loved antiques, and he shares his talents at the Hopkins Main Street Antique Mall. He not only helps people as a cashier, but also has a booth there. He had the privilege of being an only child, and throughout his life has loved to shop garage sales, flea markets, antique shops, and any place he can search for those special items of days gone by. He also loves sports, reading, history, and nonfiction. The love of history is also apparent as he is president of the Hopkins Historical Society. Prior to his antiquing, he received his degree from Normandale Community College, his Bachelor of Science in Education from Monona State University. His favorite memory of the Hopkins Raspberry Festival is being in the parade and marching with the Hopkins High School band for 3 years in a row in those woolen uniforms. This lover of history and antiques is excited to be part of the new royal family and is looking forward to the parades, meeting new people, and also the surrounding communities. It is my pleasure to introduce your new senior king, Dean Empinger. Come on up, Dean. We're going to do the sash first.
Okay.
And Jim will show you how it's done. Whoa.
Not really. Let's see.
Left shoulder?
I think it comes over this way.
Okay.
And back over this way.
All right. The medallion?
Yeah, medallion goes over. This should work. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Comes down.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
that way.
And your crown.
Hope it
And
fits.
oh yeah, I'm sure it will. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. There
You can sit here.
you go. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, it is my pleasure to introduce your 2012 and 13 Hopkins Raspberry Senior King, Dean Empinger. Thanks, Dean. All right, our new senior queen grew up in South Minneapolis, and in 1948 was part of the Aqua Follies as Miss St. Patrick's Day. That's my birthday, so that's a cool day. This is an annual event in Theater Park, Worth Park. She lives in our city east of here, St. Louis Park, and has lived there for 59 years, was married to Richard, who owned Hopkins Radiator and Speedometer. They raised 4 boys. She has 8 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren, all of them boys except 1. Wow. She is a very talented musician and continues to play the accordion and bass. She has danced with the Satin Dolls in St. Louis Park for 10 years, has been in 4 state county fair dancing competitions, and continues honoring her days in the Aqua Follies as she dances with our own Hopkins Jazzberries. At the Hopkins Activity Center, she loves to play cards and make crafts, and many of her items are on sale here at the center. If this wasn't enough, not so long ago, she was a biker in the true sense of the word, that she and her husband rode their Hondas from state to state. What a cool lady. Yes, this lady has been there, done that, and is looking forward to sharing her experiences with the new royal family and enjoying their company too. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the 2012-2013 New Hopkins Raspberry Festival Queen, Mary Jo Molesky. Come on up, Trudy. Come on up here. Here you go, Trudy. You can put that on her. Oh, love you both. Stay up here. Stay up here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to present your new 2012-13 Senior King, Dean Empinger, and Senior Queen, Mary Jo Molesky. All right. Try out your way. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go back to your seat. You bet. We'd like to thank you all for coming tonight, and we hope you are enjoying yourselves. Remember, we've still got the band that's going to be playing. We'd like to extend a big thank you to our big band sound of Dick Macko. Always great. Thank you. Stay healthy for a long, long time. We just want to remind you that there are fireworks this Saturday at dusk at Central Park, and that's being sponsored by the Wild Boar this year. So come out and enjoy that. And one last thing, one person that I'd like to recognize this evening, it's her birthday, is Miss Aubrey Yonker. Happy birthday, Aubrey. Stand up. Come on, stand up. Aubrey, we could not do the festival without you. I know everybody enjoys what you do for it. Thank you. All right, the second half of our dance will begin with Senior King. Happy birthday to you. Well, the second half of our dance will begin with our new Senior King and Senior Queen. If you could please come on up and start the dance. Thank you all for coming. There's dessert in the kitchen. Eat lots of that and enjoy the rest of the evening tonight. Thank you for coming and enjoying our evening with us.
Go ahead, dance if you want. You're welcome to dance with them. just a little game or two. Two in love could make it. Take my heart to ease the break it. Love was made for me and you. If you got something special you want to dance to, just let us know and we'll be glad to do anything you like.